All right, this is the Hyrox episode. So last weekend, me and my brother raced in the Hong Kong Hyrox. I've been preparing for quite a few months for this event, so now that's finally here. Let's go over what happened on the day. So yeah, this was the venue. It was at the Hong Kong Asia World Expo. So right before you enter the actual arena, there was a little FWE night market kind of thing. There were lots of products there, and a little warm-up zone for athletes to either try out the exercises or get warmed up before entering the venue. So this is the warm-up area. All the stations were set up here, and me and my brother just did a little bit of dynamic stretching when we're warming up for the race. We didn't actually do any of the stations for the warm-up, just because we didn't want to burn ourselves out before the actual race. So we did a lot of dynamic stretches, just the usual warm-up routine that we always did. So first lap, we already realized that we ran an extra lap. So we did 500 extra meters for the first kilometer of running. That's why we were so behind on the ski erg. And we didn't get any video footage of the ski erg, so that's why I'm putting some photos from the first two stations where we didn't get any video footage. Yeah, shout out to my mom and dad for recording all of this footage for us. So moving on to the sled pull, I feel like perhaps it's a carpet that's a lot smoother in the actual venue compared to the gym I train at. It felt a lot easier. So both the sled push, which I remember to be very hard, last November when I did my first relay, this time it felt a lot easier, even compared to my usual training at my gym. So that's a pleasant surprise. I didn't expect the sled to go so smoothly, and I was expecting the sleds to take out a lot of stamina and to make my thighs and glutes burn a lot more. But I felt really good after these two stations, which I always considered to be two of my weakest. And I felt really satisfied with my training that led up to this point, because both stations felt a lot easier than expected. So moving on to the burpee broad jumps, I did the step up technique for all of my jumps, and I tried to keep them as clean as possible, just because I saw a lot of judges on Instagram saying they're very strict about it and they give you penalties and everything. But if I could have just did a little bit smoother and not kept it as perfectly as clean as I did, I could have gone a lot faster in all of these broad jumps. But considering how we were trying to conserve most of our stamina for later stations, I feel like this pace was it suited us well to go at this pace, since we didn't really get burned out at any point of the race. Since I didn't actually train that much with my brother together since he was abroad, so I couldn't really gauge what kind of pace we should be going at for both the runs and at the stations. So we were erring on the safe side for sure. Moving on to a farmer's carry, I feel like this is the station where we went the fastest. We split the 200 meters by doing 50 meters per person, switching 4 times. So each of us did 100 meters in total, switching over after 50 meters. And yeah, we pretty much just picked up the kettlebells and just ran. I feel like this was the station where we went the fastest by far. So moving on to sandbag lunges. The sandbags were very different compared to the ones that we used to train with. These are a lot easier to carry. They don't slip around when you have sweat on, and it's a lot easier to pass it to your partner compared to the ones that we trained with. So this was another pleasant surprise. The transition's a lot smoother than expected. It's just, we could have gone a bit faster on all of these reps as well. Since we didn't exactly have a strategy on how to split, we were going the entire thing by feel. I think if we planned ahead on how to split the actual thing, it could have gone a little bit smoother as well. So moving on to balls, and I was planning to pass my ball to my brother to do the last rep, but the judge there, he counted it wrong. When we were reaching 98 and 99, he went back to saying 88 and 89, so I was a little bit thrown off. But when we finally reached 100, he said, "Oh, yeah, you guys are done." So I was a little bit thrown off by that. And afterwards, me and my brother kind of agreed on doing the Ronaldo celebration when we crossed the finish line. So I'm glad they got a photo of us being in the air doing it. So yeah, pretty good experience for my first Hyrox, and finishing it with my brother as well. He might have been one of the younger guys there at only 17, so I'm very proud of him for finishing it with me. Yeah, this is it for today's video. I just want to catch you guys up on our Hyrox result, and yeah, thank you for watching.